Hey guys, it's been a while. I've been waiting for the news to see what happens in the free agency. We finished 8-8. I had nothing much to say back then. They said get rid of Bill Callahan and Kiffin. We didn't get rid of nobody except DeMarcus Ware. Okay, let's that sink in. We did not get rid of Kiffin, Romo, Callahan, Garrett. We didn't get rid of nobody. Okay, and we decided to go in. We started negotiations. We renegotiated Romo. I guess we tried to do some bonuses and whatnot. To free up some cap space, but basically what we did is, kind of what Chango always says, we keep pushing our debts to the next year and the next year and the next year, but this time we wanted to change Ware's contract. Okay, what's the problem with that? That the way we as an organization, when I say we as an organization, as the Cowboys, as what Jerry Jones decides was that we wanted to cut his salary out. Okay, so normally what you want to do is, okay, you push him, you try to negotiate and say, okay, you're supposed to get 10 sacks per year. Okay, you got 6, you were kind of low, we're pushing to 12. If you get to 10, we'll give you $2 million. If you get to 12, we'll give you 4. Okay, or just, I'm throwing out numbers here. And that way, with $4 million, if you get to 12, you're gonna get $4 million there, and we're gonna make your base 9. That way, you get your 13 that you were supposed to get. But that way, we get to 9 as a base, and you free up some 3 to 4 million in cap space. What do you think about that? Okay, so I'm not sure if even the conversation got that far. I mean, they just released the meaning there wasn't. He probably didn't want to do that, And judging from how he's been performing, he basically banked on his reputation. But if the last 2 years he's been injured, and so I don't blame the organization up to that point, okay, for trying to do that. But it's DeMarcus Ware, okay. You're not supposed to RG3 him. Like, it cost Mike Shanahan's job to try to squeeze every ounce he could in one single season. You're not supposed to do that. I've been saying all this time that you were supposed to draft defensive players last year. Defensive. Don't let Marcus Ware do all the work. And did you do that? No, you went on offense. So this is what I said. This is what I posted on Dallas Cowboys. I said, okay, throw a big FU to Jerry Jones for this move, because that he was one of our leaders. Okay, he led by example. Okay, he put in the work. He did everything that's supposed to be done as a player. For X or Y reason, he couldn't do the sacks or whatnot. New system, whatever you wanted to say. Okay, that's fine. But he was one of our leaders. So by taking away one of your leaders, again, you end up with the question: is Romo the other one? Is he he's the leader of the offense? Can he be the leader of the whole team? And then you end up answering, no, Sean Lee is. Somebody also gets injured. Miles Austin, somebody also gets injured. Okay, you can see my cover sheet, dude. I mean, you can see that I had my little girl with the 19 jersey. I had Ware on them. What am I going to put there? I mean, who's going to be the image of our Cowboys? Who's going to be the image of our defense if Sean Lee's always injured? Okay? Who's it going to be that strikes fear into the other guys' locker room? Who is it going to be? They joked about this before. Romo doesn't, strike anybody's locker room with fear. None of them. So, who's next? You need to, if you're gonna be disorganized like the Cowboys are, I would assume that this year you pick defense. That's why you're letting Ware go. But then again, it's Jerry Jones, so you never know what he's thinking, honestly. So he probably thinks he can get anybody in free agency. No, please draft somebody. Develop players. Do what the good coaches do, like Landry, like Lombardi, Bill Belichick. They develop what they get. They don't try and buy something. I don't care if you are the Dallas Cowboys and you have a bunch of money. When the commissioner said, I'm not going to raise the salary cap, means that you're supposed to develop players. Okay? So, going back to that, you're supposed to develop players, Jerry Jones. If you don't know how to do it, you're supposed to get a head coach that does. Alright? So I'm not sure what's going on in that head of yours. Hope it's not senile, honestly, because, you still look like you have 5, maybe 10 months ahead of you. I'm just joking. But maybe a year or two that, when are you going to give the reins to your son? I'm not saying he's much better than you, but at least somebody else. The rumor is they're making the decisions anyway, and you just like to talk in front of the camera. So what's going on? Honestly, you have a very loyal fan base. So it's not like sales are going to drop because you hand the reins over. You just want to be there when you win the next Super Bowl, if you ever do. But making these decisions, you're not going to win any more Super Bowls. Okay, you're supposed to have, this is what you were supposed to do 2 years ago. Draft his backup, draft him, have him teach this guy, this immature college rookie, what to do, alright? And then, when you did want to get rid of him, now, you were ready. You're not going to have just a new guy trying to get into a system that doesn't work. Okay? Or, alternative 1 year ago when you said, you know what, I don't like Rob Ryan, he's going to be my scapegoat, I'm going to hire Monty Kiffin, let me hire the guys that he wants me so he can start training them for his system, and that way this year you're ready. But you're not. You're not ready. You're going to give, if we're lucky, another 8-8 season. Okay? Because now you lost an example. You lost a leader. A leader. I'm sorry, not a leader. A leader in your locker room. Okay? The problem with that is when the chips are down, normally the leaders pick them up. Saying it backwards. Leader. Anyway. Yes, I'm Mexican. How many of you want to comment down there that we're lucky if we get an 8-8? Did you see the schedule that we got? Did you see the divisions we have to face? And again, you want to be even more thin on the damn defense. Wasn't that our Achilles heel last season? Honestly, who's going to be in our division this year that has us at the end? Who is it going to be? Because I can bet those are the guys that are going to go to the playoffs. Because it always comes down to the wire in our division, which I don't doubt is going to happen again, right? But we're probably going to give them the keys and go drive your team to the playoffs. That's basically what we've done the last 3 years in a row. Giants, Redskins, and now Philadelphia. It's probably Giants' turn again. But when they get that opportunity, they normally try to turn it into a Super Bowl. So it sucks. Okay, that means that every time that we give the opportunity to somebody else, they do the best with it. Except Redskins, because they just suck. They also have a just now mentality and try to do all in and cost them their quarterback and then their coach. Right? So normally I would go ahead now the way we've done 3 years in a row with 8-8. Okay, let's do the same thing, right? But no, you want to keep Jason Garrett. Back in the Landry years, having a coach that lasted 30 years was bad. because he, had the same system and he didn't want to change. But now, right now, you had an Andy Reid the last 14 years. It wasn't that bad. Yeah, he lost the team because he started kind of losing at the end, but it was a successful, competitive team. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with having a coach that knows what he's doing and give him time to develop one or two times a particular team, because teams get old and you need to start over again. That's the type of coach you need, Jerry Jones. Somebody that can start from scratch. You have only done that once. Okay? With Jimmy Johnson. Then you try to do the same thing with Parcells. Okay? The problem is the system had changed. Even though you say that from the get-go you were the one calling the shots, alright? The point is you wanted control, and you could not have a team with no stars. You wanted TO, right? The point is for Parcells to have to argue with you the way that probably all the coaches like Parcells have to argue with you. It gets boring, and honestly, I don't see Bill Cowher or any other type of coach like that right now that, By the way, why do you try to get coaches out of retirement to go into our team? Honestly, look at Pete Carroll, for the love of God. Look at Harbaugh, both Harbaughs, okay? Look at what the college are coming up. Look, if Chip Kelly is going to kick our ass, you should have gotten the Harbaugh before the 49ers did. Okay, you're not being proactive, Jerry Jones, and getting rid of Ware is not going to help you. That's the reason I'm making this video. You're not being proactive. Like, you should have done this 2 years ago, drafted defense. You haven't done shit for the defense, and then you get rid of Ware? Come on! I hope for the hype. I hope just for the hype that you do get Manziel. You do get Johnny Football. Because we need somebody to back up our twice injured in the back quarterback. Okay? You need a quarterback. Don't leave it until the last minute, because we're gonna go into a 1-15 season if you screw up the draft, which you're probably gonna do. So I hope that you think you know what you're doing and you have a good draft for the sake of our fan base. Honestly, I don't know what you're thinking. You probably think that you could do it, and you're gonna do it. To root for the Cowboys is to hope that you're right. For me, to root for the Cowboys means to hope that Romo has his head on straight. Alright? I love the guy. He gave us hope again, because you, Jerry Jones, hadn't. The problem with that is you got rid of his coach before he could develop him. Alright? That's what you did. You're shooting the team in the foot. You don't wait for the good coach to develop, and then you try to bring in quick fix coaches to kind of save the day, and you look like the hero. Not sure that's going to work for you. Okay, so again, good luck. Good luck to our team. Hope you get a good replacement for Ware. Hope you don't get him in free agency, because that's just going to mean he's going to cost a lot of money. Alright? See ya after the draft and see how that goes. See you guys.